slimer link here. Let's jump in. First thing first, in Ableton, we're gonna adjust our layout of the environment for the purpose of our creativity, for nothing to distract us from the making of music. Let's start from the basics. Open your options, settings on the Windows or live preferences on the Mac, and then to audio preferences. Here is our main and the Uber alles section of the settings. Here we can choose our input and output audio devices. When you're on Windows, it's better to select DirectX driver type if you're working in your internal sound card, or if you prefer to use external sound card, some USB or Thunderbolt device, you will select the A0. On the Mac, you select the driver type Core Audio and then input and output devices. On Mac, just select your sound card or default input, and as output, the same, your sound card or default output. On Windows, since we have many options, especially if you use some gaming laptops, you have to select your headphones or your speakers. Just ensure you selecting the option with DX, means DirectX. So for me now, it's headphones, Realtek Audio DirectX, since I'm using to record this tutorial on the internal sound card. What's next? In-out sample rate. The industry standard nowadays is 48 kilohertz. So you could just leave it as is. If it's selected 44 and 100, better to switch to 48 kilohertz. Ensure high quality is on. And the next crucial setting is output buffer size. The more the output buffer size, the more latency will you have, especially if you want to play on your MIDI controller, MIDI keyboard, or for example on some external instrument like a guitar, piano, or if you want to connect microphone and hear the processed sound. So the more output buffer size, the more latency, but the less artifacts you will hear from your output signal. The less buffer size, the less latency you will hear your sound. For example, if you're playing on your guitar connected to your sound card audio interface, you will hear it in real time on the minimal buffer sizes. But it will be a risk to have some artifacts, such as dropouts from your signal. Usually these artifacts will come just in output signal, just on what you will listen, but not on what you will record. But sometimes on some interfaces, it could be unpredictable. So it's better to find some golden center of it, some sweet spot. Usually the sweet spot is somewhere around 5 and 12 samples, and that's it. If you plan to use your Ableton just for post-render, when you're making many clicks of your mouse, putting your notes, the MIDI tracks, when you want to make your music not in live mode, just with your mouse and with your keyboard, you cannot take care about it, and then you have to set up your output buffer size to the maximum. And then it will guarantee you no artifacts, no glitches, no nothing. Just leave everything out of it as is and try to adjust theme and color on what do you want. Feel free to experiment on how do you like it. I prefer just to leave it as default preset. I believe that was 100. And grid line intensity, I believe 100 as well. The most lessons you will see about Ableton Live, they made in default color scheme.